Welcome back to the Barrel Talk Podcast. We are back with another episode, joining with Cole and Nick. This is going to be week one predictions going into the slate and giving our kind of last minute hot takes before the NFL season does kick off. By the time you're seeing this, it will be the first official week where we will see NFL football on Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Just going over this is going to be the same format that we did last year, just going over the slate. Going over our power rankings as well that are going to be changing and updating week by week, depending on last week and how it goes throughout the season, going through the weeks. But this is kind of going to be like episode 0, week 0, going into week 1 with our predictions. And then we'll be right back. You'll see this actually Monday morning. Now on the regular uploads during the week, you'll see this on Wednesday morning, week by week, going through the NFL season. But join with Nick and Cole. How we doing?
Doing good, man. I'm excited.
I'm already pumped up for tonight. We got a bunch of college football games on tonight.
True.
Thursday we're recording this. Like, we got a whole weekend ahead of us of just ball. Like, this is the best time of the year, bro. It's starting to get a little chillier out. You go outside, you're smelling that football weather. Hawkeyes play on Saturday. The tailgating's back. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, so looking at this, we can start out with the slate. So at the end, we'll go over the power rankings, which is kind of like chalk. They're going to obviously change, so we're only doing the top 10. We might add on top 15 later down the line, see how we're doing about that. But we can go and hop into week 1 slate. Thursday night, Dallas at Philly. Who are we picking?
I got Philly.
I mean, yeah, Philly's super. Yeah. They're a super team status right now. Like, they're not going to come out here flat for a week 1 game just because they won a Super Bowl.
No.
They're a level of a super team, and I think they're going to dominate. Honestly, I think the Dallas Cowboys offense could show some things. I'm excited to see Pickens and CD and Dak. Hopefully, Micah's playing. Like, it'd be a bummer if first NFL game of the year Micah's not playing. Like, we want to see both teams at their best, but Philly's a super team to me. They're going to come out and dominate. I got a big Jalen Hurts game, like, in my mind right now.
I completely agree. I think Micah definitely plays. I think it also just kind of plays into the Jerry Jones. He wants to make things like big, and he wants to be the name, and he wants to be the guy that's always in the news. I think we'll probably see a Micah contract a day before, maybe even the day of the game, something like that, like Joe Burrow did last year or whatever.
Made it for Dak.
I think he ends up playing.
Signed, like,
what was it, Dak? Come on, of course it's going to happen again. Yeah, but I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning. I think Jalen Hurts is going to just come out and have a great game.
I kind of agree with Cole. I do think this offense from the Cowboys will show us some things for sure because, and we can get into it later in our hot takes, I feel like them having George Pickens as their number 2 is getting undersold so much just because the Cowboys, like, George Pickens is, you could argue just off talent alone and ability, like, he is upper echelon receiver-wise in the league, and you're pairing him with CD Lamb. And if they keep Dak Prescott healthy, offensively, sky's the limit. I think they could. Ferguson. The way that they talk about the Bengals offense and Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, I think you can talk the same shit about Dak and CD and Pickens. Like,
and our defense is better than theirs.
Yes.
So,
I'm on the board that Mike is going to end up staying too. So, like,
yeah, if Micah plays, our defense is better than theirs. Let me make that clear. Sorry.
Yeah. So Dallas, this is honestly just a tough draw.
We're talking about the Bengals defense. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Good point. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, if you are comparing that offense, our offense to theirs plus our defense, I mean, you got people choosing the Bengals for the Super Bowl. People are choosing the Cowboys to not make the playoffs.
Yeah. It was a good example, though. I agree.
But I'm going Philly. Yeah. I think this is just a tough draw for Dallas week 1.
Yeah. Opening night, coming off the Super Bowl.
Even if Mike is up to full, like, speed, like, he's been sitting out a lot. Who knows what he's been doing behind the scenes? Even if he's up to full speed, I just don't think, like, I don't think that defense is just going to have any answer. Even if you get, like, Micah at his best. To me, I don't know.
Because at the end of the day, the Eagles are still the best offense in the league, probably top 3. So, it's going to be tough to stop no matter who you got on the other side.
I will say I'm going to pick the Eagles, but this is like an Eagles 10-point win. But I do think Dallas comes back later in the year and they split.
What is that spread, huh? You can
It's-
I'm
go
not
ahead
mad
with
at that.
number
That's a
6.
rivalry game.
That's not
Yeah.
bad. That's not bad.
We got another rivalry game, somewhat turning into one, I think, in the next couple years. Friday night, Brazil game, Chiefs and Chargers. I'm going Chiefs. I think the Slater injury kind of like threw a wrench into early season things I had for the Chargers because you're losing a top 5-6 like tackle in the league. Like it's obviously tough. And I have a hard time believing the Chiefs just got punched in the mouth and blown out in the Super Bowl and they're going to come out and fuck around week 1. Like I just have a hard time. I think that this could be, not going to say a slaughter, but I think this could be a very handling situation because everybody's talking about the Broncos and the Chargers and how they could take over the division from the Chiefs. I just don't see it. I think the Chiefs come out and honestly stomp the Chargers and kind of humble all those talks.
I think people
what did the
forget.
Chiefs lose? Like nothing this offseason.
Yeah, I think people forget how good that Chiefs defense is.
Yeah.
Like that Chiefs defense is really, really good. Obviously, like you just said, we lose Rashawn Slater on the other side. I don't think, I mean, past this game, I think the Chargers are going to be all right because I don't know what their schedule's looking like, but I know they have Joe Alt. They're going to move over to left tackle, and I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to be able to tread water against the Chiefs. I think it's going to be a little bit tough. I do have the Chiefs winning as well, but I think it's going to be a better game than you think. I think it'll probably be pretty close still. I think the Chiefs are still going to be going through their early season, like how they always do. Like I don't know. The offense always looks weird. Obviously, you don't have Rashee Rice. He just got officially suspended for those 6 games. So, like, Travis Kelce's older. How's it going to look? But I do still have the Chiefs winning. I think it'll be a little bit closer of a game, though.
Let me just say this. If Justin Herbert is to become even 75% of the player that I thought he was going to be after I saw, like, the talent he has, the talent he still does have, that none of that went away. If Justin Herbert is even going to be 75% of that, that would mean that this year is the year where he isn't just a regular season star and he brings it to the playoffs. He wins a couple games. He gets to the at least to the divisional, and maybe he even makes an AFC championship appearance, and we get a him versus Mahomes battle, a him versus Allen battle, or a him versus Lamar battle, because that level of quarterback, that top tier we talk about, is what I think Justin Herbert can get to, and I think that starts this year with him coming out and asserting himself and beating the Chiefs and picking up a divisional win in week 1 on Friday night.
I just got chills. Oh my God, I just got chills.
Come on, dude, that's a special quarterback. It's going to come eventually, and he hasn't shown us anything that he can't do it. It's just those playoff games. And guys, let's be honest. Last year, I know Ladd McConkey, he was just a rookie. It's not like he's had this perfect situation like these other top-tier quarterbacks have at least once had to assert themselves in the playoffs. Justin Herbert, to me, has never really had that. This is the year.
Looking back on it, kind of like piggybacking off that, I think them going back and getting Keenan Allen, he might be older, but Keenan Allen is just such a safety blanket who's been there, played with Herbert before. So now it's not Ladd McConkey or pretty much bust for that offense. So I think having Keenan, you have Amarion Hampton, and like also like you can say that Herbert has never played with like the caliber of weapons like Joe Burrow's had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like Patrick Mahomes early in the run had prime Kelce and prime Tyreek Hill. Like even Josh Allen really didn't take off till they got prime Stephon Diggs. Mm-hmm. And like then he started taking off. So I'm like, he's had Keenan Allen in his prime and Mike Williams in his prime, but I don't think he's ever had like a top 3 to 4 weapon in the league, basically, like those other quarterbacks have had. So I think he's in a good spot this year because I think Amarion Hampton's going to be really, really good as well. So,
and Mike Williams is never reliable every down for him as like a receiver, or wide receiver 2 or 1. Like he would have those big games where he's getting up and making jump ball plays for Herbert, and like Herbert was relying on just like throwing jump balls to him. I mean, it was insane.
People always
they were able to. It's insane.
People always wanted to make it seem like Mike Williams was this like complete wide receiver. He never was. He was always this one gadget guy to just go up and catch balls. I know people always look at it like this guy was supposed to be the next like fucking AB, but like he was never going to be that guy. We showed him for multiple years playing with Justin Herbert that he was not able to do much more than just the go route.
He was showing physical flashes, but he never put together a consistent string of games to even like believe in that. So I never got that.
When he did, he just get hurt, sadly. Like, and if that was his body, you know,
that's true.
Betraying him, then sadly, that's what it is.
But So Cole's going with the Chargers. Me and Nick are going with the Chiefs.
Damn.
Now we get into Sunday, where I'm gonna be sitting down noon,
Rotting
kicks
on the
off.
fucking couch.
I'm gonna have my 9 fantasy leagues pulled up and everything else. But
Yep,
we kick it
20
off
bets
with
down.
kicking it off with Tampa and Atlanta.
I'll start if you guys want.
Yeah, you go ahead.
When I first looked at it, like Atlanta feels like an easy team to like pick early in the year when it's just like regular season. Like I feel like they got weapons. You feel like they got offensive players to be excited about. But I got to stand on where I was with Tampa Bay and how the team I think they're going to be, and I think they're going to run that division. And Baker, dude, I mean, I put him as like the 7th best quarterback in football on my list. I regret not putting Justin Herbert above him, honestly. But I think Baker is to a point right now as a quarterback where he's just in for big games. I got the Bucs.
This is also in Atlanta. I'm also going Tampa. Just higher on Tampa this year. I think they're just more complete. Somehow they're getting Chris Godwin ready to go for week 1. Somehow that's going to happen.
Dude.
He's going to be he ain't going to do nothing week 1.
Yeah, he's going to be
doing
limited.
Nothing.
But like looking at it, if he's ready for week 1, I'm thinking by week 10.
Yeah.
By like week 10 he's going to be good. Oh, it should be like they're sneakily complete. The Falcons defense, I love their offensive weapons, but I don't think their defense is going to have any answers for Mike Evans and Mbuka, even Cade Otton, and then the run game. Like if because Baker can be prone to throwing some turnovers, that's when you just give it to Bucky Irving and Rachaad White, and you just get down the field at will. So I'm going Tampa, but I could easily, because last year the Falcons won both, and they swept the Bucs.
I mean, weren't those both with Kirk Cousins though?
Yes, because it was a classic on Thursday night where it was a fucking shootout.
Yeah, I was watching
Darnell Mooney had like almost 200 yards or something crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah. I also have the Bucs. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be cinema, just like those games last year. It always seems to be between these two teams. And I feel like higher on the Falcons than maybe you two are. I think they're going to be really good. Or not really good. I think they're going to compete for the division with the Bucs, and I think these games are going to be really close. But like we are talking about, we're a Bucs. I think the Bucs are our team this year, the podcast team, and I think they're just going to show that they are a really complete team this week and be able to just stop them or at least match whatever the Falcons are able to do with that really good offense.
Like Tampa early in the season, like just looking at last year, they like have some crazy, like they went into Detroit when Detroit was like undefeated and kind of put belt to them.
Kind of mollywopped them.
Yeah, so we're all on the Bucs, and that's kind of going to be the podcast team for this year, it seems like. Next, we're going Bengals at Cleveland.
I got Bengals. I feel like the last 3 years they came out slow. They've always come out slow. You know, I think it was 0-3 last year, maybe 0-2 the year before, maybe 0-3 back-to-back years. Come out slow. We got to see Joe Burrow and Jamar play some preseason together. I think they're a little more motivated. They got Henderson got his raise. I feel like everything's calming down a little bit there. They're ready to play. Joe Burrow's special. They're not going to come out. It's not going to be a thing on Joe Burrow's career where he's starting every season slow. That's just not going to be him. They're going to win. They're going to kill the Browns.
This is like the first time in like years, I feel like, where they've had their core 3 in terms of Burrow, Chase, and Higgins all going into the season healthy. Like it's like 1 year was Higgins limping into the season, 1 year Joe Burrow because he had the surgery in the offseason and he didn't have the full offseason to get ramped up, ready to go. That could be the reason they start out slow. But I will say they lost to the Patriots last year, and I had money on them. I had a nice little lay. I had like a 7-legger, and they sold the spread, and McPherson missed 2 kicks. So the Browns, it just sucks. I think it's going to be a little bit closer because in division, and that Browns defense is stout. So I think it's going to be a little bit closer, but I'm obviously going to go with the Bengals, but I wouldn't be shocked if this is a little bit closer. Week 1 in Cleveland, like Flacco can either go for 350 yards and 4 tuds or 125 and 3 picks. So it depends on what kind of Flacco game you get. And that Bengals defense isn't great. So I think it's going to be a little bit closer, but I do have the Bengals for sure.
Yeah, same here. Bengals, I don't really have much more to say. I think it'll be a little bit closer. just because I think it'll be a little bit of, first week woes against a good defense. But I think they'll be all right at the end of the day. Bengals win.
But I will say, if they do start out slow, Zach Taylor will be entering the hot seat
See you
for
later
sure.
If they lose.
100%. And he should, bro. He should.
Because they have,
I think
winnable
it's
games.
long overdue. It's because he made a Super Bowl. It's long overdue.
honestly.
He should have been on the hot seat. When you have Joe Burrow, like, come on, you have that talent on offense. You need to bring in maybe bring in even a defensive mind. Like, maybe Zach Taylor is actually. I might have misspoke there. I don't think he really is known for that though.
No, I think he's offense.
So like, bring in a defensive mind and fix that. You have Joe, Jamar, and T. Like, come on.
They'll figure it out themselves. You don't need a good OC or a good offensive head coach.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I get it.
Going on to our next game, Miami at Colts. So, Daniel Jones starting quarterback. What are we feeling about? Because the Colts don't have a bad team.
No. Like, I'm taking the Dolphins.
I've been starting. Okay, I'm gonna agree Dolphins. I think this is the perfect game. Tyreek Hill is getting slept on. Tyreek Hill is underrated right now as a receiver. Connor gave him respect in the top 10 receivers. Tyreek Hill's getting disrespected. Tua's gonna go in there and have a big game. Like, the Dolphins, to me, Mike McDaniel is on the hot seat already. I would say he's on one of the hottest seats in the league right now, honestly, as a coach. And I think I still believe in him as a play caller and those guys. They're gonna kill the Colts once again.
I'm also going Miami. But I'm going to also talk more about the Colts when we get into hot takes. So I'm going to just say I'm going with Miami for the same reasons Cole said, pretty much.
Yeah. I got Miami. I think it'll be good. You never know. There'll always be their woes. They put in the week 1 last year. I remember I watched it. They played like shit against the Jags. And then like last minute, like Tyreek Hill got like a 60-yard touchdown or something like that to win. I think they'll be okay this year.
Tough.
Week 1's always weird. There's always that teams. I also just picked the Colts to win like 3 games, so I don't want to give them one right away.
I got a sneaky hot take that we'll get to about the Colts, so
Okay.
I'm just going to stay with the Dolphins. Next game we have Panthers at Jags. I'm going Jags. This is just perfect bounce back game. I think a lot of people are maybe a year ahead on the Panthers right now. I think this is obviously going to be a way better year for Bryce Young, but in terms of like competing like in that division, I think they're still a year away. I think they still have a lot more to add. And I think the Jags are just in a prime spot to bounce back here. Like it seemed like they had a complete organizational like down year. I feel like everybody played outside of Brian Thomas Jr. just had a down year. And I think now you're adding him. I'm excited to see how they use Travis Hunter. I think ETN has a bounce back year. Like, this is somebody who was top end in the league, like top 15 back in the league just 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to sit here and write him off just because of one bad year. I think Liam Cohen is a really, really good offensive mind. And I think they just bounce back and handle the Panthers at home.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Of this game, I think of when I think of this game, I think of a shitty mid-season NFL Network Thursday Night Football game. But I think this Jags team's a little different now, and I think they're actually going to be good. They have good players. They're not going to be a great team. They're going to be a good team. They're a level above the Carolina Panthers. They're going to come out. They're at home. They're going to come out and win the game.
Yep, completely agree. I don't really got much to say about that. Love the Jags.
We can go on to our next game. Arizona at New Orleans.
I got the Raiders. I thought you were gonna bring up the Raiders already.
This is an easy one. I think we're all picking Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona.
And then we can get on to Raiders at Patriots. Before we get into it, what do we think about? I'm going Raiders. I'm still gonna be on the Raiders in this week 1 game. I think the Patriots are coming in with a lot of stock and a little bit more pressure this year with Vrabel. And I'm just going to trust Pete Carroll and Geno compared to Drake May. And now with not just rookie year expectations, now with second year expectations. I just think week 1, Patriots could be a little bit off to a slow start. A lot of new moving pieces on that team. I'm going to say the Raiders go out and squeak one out. But what are the thoughts on Jacoby Myers, like kind of out of nowhere, like requesting a trade, and then you bring back Amari Cooper?
It's funny because the team tied to him as a trade partner is the Patriots, who he used to play for, and we played in week 1. I don't like it. I'm already worried about the wide receiver position. Do I believe in guys like Trey Tucker has shown flashes and rookie Dante Thornton, who's getting high praise from everyone as a 5th-round pick? He's a 6'5" guy who was a 4.3 40. I got guys I'm excited about. Amari Cooper, he's a Raiders legend, I almost want to say, just from the connection he had. Derek Carr.
Oh, yeah.
But, dude, Jacoby Myers is a good, really reliable receiver. And for that to be a thing, like, I just hope it all works out for us. I don't really have much of an opinion on that because we need him. Like, our offense is good, but it's not good enough to where we can just lose a receiver, especially because of the lack we have on defense. I agree with everything you said, though. I think the Patriots are a fine team. I feel like they're almost like a lower level of like how people are treating the Broncos, just like assuming because they have a good coach and they had a good rookie quarterback. Like, I don't know. I feel like people are assuming they're just going to take this jump. So it feels like almost like for me as a Raiders fan, I feel like we can kind of like humble them a little bit. But that's also coming from us, like we're also getting some praise from people being like the Raiders are going to be a lot better this year. New coach. So it's kind of hypocritical of me to say, but I got us Raiders. I think Pete Carroll is really good. I love Gruden, but I have never as a Raiders fan had like this accomplished of a coach. I know Gruden's won a Super Bowl, but when you just think of Pete Carroll, for me, it's just like I think something's going to be a little bit different this year, and I think people are jumping the gun on the Patriots. I do have a starting 1-0. I really want Jacoby. I don't want us to trade Jacoby Myers.
I think Pete Carroll, if anything, is going to just raise that floor and just add a little bit more consistency to the Raiders. Like, it's probably not going to all come together and happen this year for them, but I do think this year, I think the floor is a lot higher, and I think they're going to just be in more games and have more chances to win games. I think this is a game where they just win. Like, I could see them walking this one off, and Bowers has like a really good game, and Genty like has a really solid game, his first game ever. So like, I don't know. I'm also just taking a veteran in Geno to just go out there and get it done week 1.
I'm taking
Like
Patriots. Sorry to burst bubbles over here. I just think this is going to be a tough, gritty game. I still really believe in that Patriots defense, and as much as I downplay the bringing in a new head coach and that completely changing everything, I do think Vrabel's going to have something to say with that defense. I think, him getting in that fight in training camp, I think they will want to fight for this guy. So I think that defense is going to be really good, and I think there could be a little bit of offensive woes within the Raiders' offense. Again, because of that, what's going on with Jacoby Myers, and I don't think Geno is a great quarterback. So I think there could be a little bit of offensive woes. Ashton Genty's a rookie. Offensive line still ain't great. Like, I'm not saying you guys have a terrible offensive line, but I'm not saying it's not going to be like top 15.
Yeah, I mean, it's mid. That's a fact.
It's
mid,
It's mid. And defense ain't great either. I don't think the Patriots are going to be like anything offensively, honestly. We could see a little bit of flashes from Travion Henderson. But I just see this one being like a 14-10 kind of game.
I can see it 14-17.
14, something like low scoring. Patriots just edge you guys out a little bit just because they have a really tough defense. I think it's week 1 woes, like I've been saying this whole episode.
Whoever wins, I think it's just a walk-off.
You think so? Walk-off field goal?
Yeah.
Walk-off 55-yard.
Whoever wins is like whoever gets the ball last in a position like to just go down and win.
Yeah.
But me and Cole are on the Raiders. You are on the Patriots. Next game, which is probably the most interesting game, I think it's going to be like the main featured game like in the noon slate just because it's Steelers and Rodgers. We have Steelers at Jets. I'm going Pitt, personally. I've heard nothing but bad things about that Jets offense in camp, and I just think the Steelers defense is going to be ready for whatever Justin Fields has to offer offensively. And I think this is just a typical Steelers week 1 win where they just win by a field goal or like win by a touchdown late, and the defense makes a play to stop Justin Fields from like going and winning the game.
This is an exciting storyline. So yeah, I agree. It'll be a pretty headline game. As much as I think it'd be funny if like the Jets just came out and pooped on Rodgers and like shut him down, I got to be realistic. I picked Pitt. I just trust them. And week one, it's just easy to pick teams like the Steelers and like those consistent teams that just win games. Like I got Pitt. There's nothing to trust about the Jets.
I got the Jets. I got the Jets.
Oh man.
Yeah. This is just a
There
start
we
to what I
go.
think is going to be a little bit of a disappointing season for the Steelers. I've heard all of the bad things coming from the Jets camp. I just kind of think, just like the Patriots and Raiders game, this is going to be a tough one. Two good defenses. I've just been hearing great things about this Jets defense as well. That they are still like going to be like a top 5 unit in the league. So I just think it's going to be a tough one. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be good this year. So I think he could struggle. I just think this could be another 17-14 kind of game. Justin Fields, a little 50-yard run for something to get him into field goal range. Boom.
I just have a hard time believing that the Jets are going to do anything offensively.
Oh, for sure. I don't blame you, but like
I think the O-line still has
they can get down the
problems.
field twice.
With the Steelers defense going into the year healthy, them just adding Jalen Ramsey a top 5 to 6 corner, depending on who you're talking to, like Garrett Wilson's good, but they're gonna have Ramsey on Garrett Wilson and Porter Jr. on Garrett Wilson, and that pass rush is going to get there. Like if there's anything I can trust with the Steelers, it's that from weeks 1 through 8, that defense is going to get to the quarterback, and that defense is going to be elite and best in the league. That's what happens. They always start out fast. The Steelers always start out fast.
They know Aaron Rodgers. They know him like the back of their hand.
But I'm trusting
It's hard to say
Aaron
the
Rodgers.
Steelers are going to be able to move the ball either.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like this is going to be a tough one.
It is going to be a tough one, but
both quarterbacks throwing 2 picks.
I just trust the Steelers
are going to win. I think the Steelers are going to win, but I just thought over their weapons and offense, and I'm disgusted. And I don't think their line's good. I think they have question marks on their line.
Which one? Both teams?
Left tackle. The Steelers.
The Steelers. Yeah.
What's his name? Fanatu? Like, he's just not a good tackle. They say they switched him over to left tackle because that's what he played in college, and he's going to be better now. But he's just not good for them. I just don't trust anything that's just have an offense. So I could see either way. I think they're just.
I don't think either of these teams are good, to be honest. Like I think neither of these teams we're looking at in the postseason.
Corey thinks the Steelers are really good. He thinks they're going to win 11 games. Let's not forget about that.
That's insane to me.
I just think every year in our group chat we go into the year saying the Steelers are going to lose this game and lose that game because of the offense, and then we look at like week 8 and they're fucking like have 6-7 wins. Like they like in the first half of the year, the Steelers are just a fucking problem defensively, and they always tail off to the back end of the year. Like they were 5-1 with Justin Fields because of the defense making plays. So so I'm like, if Aaron Rodgers is obviously not going to throw,
I'm taking Justin Fields over Aaron Rodgers right now.
I'm just not. In terms of managing the game, I'm not.
I'm not.
It's going to be interesting to see how the offense looks because obviously Fields is such a better athlete than Rodgers. So the offense is going to just look different. But I'm just like, Steelers first half of the year is just an elite team. They always start out really, really fast and tail off. And I think that's going to just be the same because they have a lot of winnable games in this first half of their schedule. And I just think I'm not high on the Jets offense. It's going to be a defensive masterpiece for sure. But I just trust Rodgers to just make the throws down the field better than Fields in this game.
Who have I become? I'm a Justin Fields lover.
Are you actually taking Fields over Rodgers right now?
I think so. Yeah. Again, just a general sense, yes. Dude, Aaron Rodgers, I know he had an okay year last year, but that dude is so fucking old and cannot move at all.
Yeah. I'd rather take somebody who can't move in the pocket that can throw.
Quarterback.
He went 4. Justin Fields also played good last year. He went 4-2.
He did. But it didn't.
He was playing fine and got benched for no reason.
Were you moved, though? Were you moved by how he was playing? Like,
if I remember correctly, there were 2 games that he looked really, really good in. Like the rest of them, yes, no, he looked mid at best. But like, I don't know, man. I also have a little bit of a
Rodgers is clear, I guess. Never mind. Yeah.
I also just have a little bit of a bias towards guys who can move, and I think both of these defense are gonna get.
I feel that.
Neither of the lines are good, and both of the front sevens are really good. So both of these guys are gonna get pressure, and I think Aaron Rodgers could go down many, many times.
Fields was kind of moving me in that I think they were playing the Packers like week 1 preseason, and he had he was like running. I don't know. I was kind of getting excited for something. I was getting excited about something, and I had to chill out. So that's why I'm questioning anything Fields. But yeah, that'll be an interesting game.
We should move on though. Talking about this game for way too long.
Next game, Giants at Commanders.
I'll go quick. I got Commanders. I've said a lot of things about Giants already. You guys know how I feel, but no, I got Commanders. I love that they just got Terry back. I love it. Jaden Daniels, big year. Again, no sophomore slump.
I also have the Commanders. I think it could be a little bit closer. Division game, week 1. Obviously, we've been talking up this Giants D-line this whole offseason. But I think the Commanders are still good enough to get it done. I think they'll be hyped because they got Terry back, just like you said. So, good game though, I think.
This is where I was looking at the slate and I was thinking back to last year about how the Patriots went and beat the Bengals. And I'm like, it's week 1. Some fluky shit always happens. I'm like, there's always some team that loses that probably shouldn't. And I just looked at this game. I was like, what if that Giants D, we've talked about, what if Abdul Carter just comes out and just absolutely wrecks shit for the Commanders? I have the Giants. They beat the Commanders last year to open the season, actually, too. So I'm going to go with the Giants. Just Neighbors, big game. They edge it out. Russell Wilson just hits a moon ball to Neighbors and they get in the field goal range and walk it off or something. And I just think this is actually going to be sneaky interesting because I want to see the second time they play later down the season. Because if there's any D line that's athletic enough to kind of keep Jaden Daniels at bay in the pocket, it might be the Giants. Because you're going to have Abdul Carter and Dexter Lawrence. There's not going to be too many crazy avenues for Jaden Daniels to get out and make plays.
Linebackers too, so they're going to be plugging holes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. And
it'll be a tough matchup.
I like that they got Terry back, but Austin Eckler at this point in time being your RB1 going into the year, really fucking hesitant about that because you just gave away Brian Robinson, whoever, Nick, I remember we were in the Ozarks and you were saying that people were just saying that he wasn't starting caliber anymore. So it could be a whole different thing that we find out later on. But I just think the run game could take a hit. And if they're going to rely on Jaden's legs a lot more, which isn't a bad idea, but I mean, this is a physical Giants team. And I think they're going into the year with just a little bit more juice and vibe this year. So I'm going to say they get one in week 1 on the road.
Okay, I like that.
And then
Jaden Daniels helps the run game a lot, though, too. But that's a good pick. I'm high on the Giants.
Now we're getting into the afternoon slate. Titans at Broncos.
If the Broncos were on the road for this game, there'd be a big part of me that wants to take a gamble on Cam Ward just having a big coming out party. But no, we're talking about one of the best defenses playing at Mile High Stadium. It's going to be a tough environment. And Broncos are good. Broncos are really good. They're going to win.
Yeah,
I'm also going Broncos, same reasoning. I just think this is also a tough pull for a rookie QB week 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
To get probably the best defense in the league going in.
Surtain after getting paid, man.
It's just
you gotta eat him up. You gotta eat Cam Ward up.
I can already see the narratives. Bo Nix could throw for 200 and Evan Ingram has a crazy game, has his first game with the Broncos. I can just already
catches.
I can just already see a crazy game. But this is just a tough pull. I'm also going to Broncos. Next game, San Fran at Seattle.
Real quick, I just want to mention, I picked Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, and the Chiefs to lose. So after week 1, the Chiefs, I want to announce, are in 4th place of the AFC West. I just want to make that.
That might be the first time ever.
You psycho.
No, for real. In the last 10 years, dead ass, it might be. Anyways.
This is interesting because the more and more I've seen of the Seahawks, I was low on them in my predictions, and it might come back to bite me. Because I just like their offense a little. I'm not crazy high on Cooper Kupp, but at bare minimum, he's just a reliable guy. JSN is going to be just fine. Sam Darnold can air the ball out. It's not I don't see Sam Darnold regressing into nothing like he was before he got to Minnesota. I think there's going to be this fine line middle of the pack because he obviously doesn't have Jefferson and Addison and Hockenson and KOC, but I think he finds a fine line. But I think the defense is going to be hooping. But I also think highly of the 49ers. I'm going to go Niners just because CMC's going into the year healthy. But I think this is going to be a really good divisional game. At the 3 o'clock
really high
slate.
on both these teams. Yeah. I'm really high on both these teams also. I got the Niners as well. It feels like coming off a slow year. You got CMC healthy. You got Kyle Shanahan in week 1 going up against not a first-year head coach, but, not a guy on his level. I really like both these teams, though. I like this whole division. Seahawks are just going to be fun, but I got the Niners week 1.
I also have the Niners. Yeah, I think the defense is gonna be back. I think they're gonna be really good, even though they don't have like any of their receivers. Maybe big Ricky Pearsall game. We'll see.
It's just going to be a big Kittle for like 95 and a
Kittle.
tud.
Oh yeah. And man, I'm just gonna give one of these hot takes. I don't want to type it down. I just have it in my mind right now. For the Seahawks, I have this weird feeling. I think Cooper Kupp is going to be the number 1 wide receiver. I think JSN is going to have a down year. I think he's going to have this thing where people aren't going to think he can be a number 1. He's been held up by Tyler Lockett and DK these last few years, and now he's going to be coming in. People are acting like he's going to be this top 15 number 1 wide receiver. I think he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle, especially with Sam Darnold, not a top 15 quarterback throwing you the ball. I think it's going to be a tough year. I think by the end of it, I think Sam Darnold could have really been preferring Cooper Kupp over JSN the whole year. Maybe JSN's been getting doubled the whole time. Maybe he's just been struggling. That's just what I think right now. I just didn't want to write it down, to be honest.
I could also see a world where the Seahawks maybe start out a little slower because you got to think new quarterback, pretty much a whole new receiver room. They've kind of rebuilt that entire defense a little bit, kind of shuffled the deck with this entire roster and like really retooled. So I could see them starting out a little bit slower and then picking up a couple big wins in the back half of the year. But I think it is because they are going to start out a little slower. And like you said, Colt, Shanahan off a down year. I don't care what receivers are healthy. You have CMC and Kittle and a good O-line. You're going to be just fine. This is, like I said, it's going to be Kittle for 95 and a tud. And then CMC is going to get in there. I think they win by a touchdown for sure. Going on to our next game. Probably game, in my opinion, it might be game of the week. I'm surprised it's not on primetime anywhere. Detroit at Green Bay. This is where I go the Packers. Yeah, the 3 o'clock slate's dope. This is where I go Green Bay. I just think Jordan Love coming into the year healthy. I think Matthew Golden has a game. I think this is just the slow kind of start the Lions could have, not having both coordinators, divisional opponent on the road, and they swept them last year. I just have a hard time believing anything in the NFC North kind of stays the same like it was last year. Like, I don't believe Green Bay loses every game to a divisional opponent like they did to the Vikings and the Lions last year. And I think the Green Bay Packers do get one, and the Lions kind of have a little bit of woes week 1 because due to both coordinators being gone, figuring some things out. Yeah, I just think Jordan Love has a day at home. Because you got to think they were in Brazil last year for week 1. He got hurt. Like, they looked shaky in Brazil as it is. Like, at Lambeau, divisional game, I think the Green Bay Packers get one and start out 1-0.
I got the Packers as well. I'm not trying to say that like it's like, oh, the Lions, I think they're going to fall off because no Ben Johnson. No, I think the Lions will be fine. I think it'll be a really good game. Like, I think it'll live up to the hype. This division just creates big, like, fun games to watch. I feel like even sometimes when they get out of hand, we've seen like comebacks, crazy things happen in a lot of the games between NFC North teams, at least to my memory. So it's be a fun one. But yeah, same reasons as you, Corey. Jordan Love, he's gonna have a big day. He's an awesome quarterback. He's full off season to kind of getting his health back. I got the Packers.
I got the Lions. And I mean, if I'm not wrong, was Jordan Love he wasn't healthy the whole offseason. He was hurt like up until like a month ago, I think.
He non-throwing hand.
Okay, non-throwing hand. Okay, fair enough.
Okay, I didn't know about that. I thought he's been good since last season.
Yeah,
at the end.
It was a non-throwing hand.
That's just what I heard. Non-throwing hand. That's not very important. But I just got the Lions again. Yeah. I'm just on the other side of there being a great game, and I just think they'll come down, last possession. Lions getting all their defensive players back that they lost last year. I think it's going to be huge. So I think it's just going to be a tough one. Maybe a little bit lower scoring than the games that we saw last year from these teams. Because I think both these defenses could end up being really good. But yeah, I just got the Lions. I think she'll just edge them out.
I think it could go either way. This is a coin flip game.
For sure.
Question. Okay. I feel like last year, like, it was like the fun thing to say, like, if we're going into last year, it's like the Lions are my like Super Bowl pick. Do you feel like that Commanders loss has like kind of scared people away of the idea of being even excited about the Lions, like going from being like the joke of the NFL to like this Super Bowl team? Like, do you feel like that is like just so quieted down? I feel like no one's really, at least to the not like what I'm seeing. I don't think people are taking the Lions very serious right now as actual contenders, which I don't think is fair. I think they're still really good. I don't know. It doesn't feel the same as it did going into last year because of that Commanders loss. Is my, what I'm.
I mean, definitely
assuming.
in a way. I think for the offense, I don't know. For me, I see they were. I mean, they were so hurt defensively, so I think they're going to be really good. But in a way, obviously, you look at Jared Goff and like how he played in that game. It's like, what the fuck, man? So I don't know. But
Yeah.
they did get like what 50 thrown on their heads. So like, I think
Like it was
I don't
yeah,
know.
At home. At
it's
home.
At
terrible.
home, yeah, it was terrible. So yeah, I don't know. I think they'll be fine, but I think there's definitely a public perception has changed for sure.
I think
Like
it's warranted. I think
heartbreaking that
people are
must have
putting it
been.
too hard. Oh, to be a Lions fan, that must have
Okay.
been devastating. But
50 throwing your
Oh my
dome
god.
piece
if
in
it
the
makes it
fucking
any better,
divisional.
if the Commanders threw 50 on them and the Lions still found a way to win that game, I don't even want to fucking know what the Eagles would have did to them. So I think it's warranted because you could have went into the year last year and been like, they have both of the best coordinators in the game. Like Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson are head coaches now. So I think that's going to be very hard to replace for sure, especially Ben Johnson and the offensive identity he built for that team. I think that bare minimum they have a little bit of a slow start and they bounce back and they're fine, right? I think that's perfectly reasonable, especially in a tough division. And like I said, you're on the road in Lambeau. I highly doubt they spanked the Packers because they went into Lambeau and blew the Packers out last year, back half of the year. So it's just like you kind of said with Jared Goff, like in the playoffs, like I think that's more of a question mark, and that might scare people away because, like, yes, the defense was bad, but Jared Goff also threw like multiple egregious picks, like
Yeah,
in that
he
game
did
when they
not
were
look
trying to
good.
come
Yeah.
back. Like Gibbs looked good,
I
like
guess
Gibbs was killing.
Yeah, and I guess he's forcing it, but like, you got there in the first place,
Yeah, there's like one where he clearly overthrew Amon Ra, and that led to a pick. And these weren't just picks; they were pick sixes. Like the Commanders. And I will say, we can kind of I compare it to the NBA, and we can get off the rails a little bit. But like to wrap this up, the Commanders were the Pacers of this past year. Like
Oh yeah,
they are just. Some teams just have that run, and I'm not saying the Commanders can't replicate that run, but like they just had that run. Like it felt like anything that could go right for the Commanders last year, it did go right.
yep.
Like ever since they got the Hail Mary against
Agreed.
the Bears, it just seemed like the Commanders were just destined to like have success that year. And then like I said, nobody was beating Philly in the NFC last year. Like the Detroit Lions would have went to the championship game and absolutely got embarrassed because
Fuck, yeah.
the Eagles even embarrassed
right.
the Commanders. The Commanders put 50 on the line, so that just tells you everything you need to hear. But the defense is coming back, and I think I can see them starting out like 2-2, but I think they're going to be fine back half of the year. Getting into our last afternoon game before Sunday night, Texans at Rams. This is just like game I just love to see here because I think CJ Stroud has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder going into this year. But Stafford healthy at home, I got the Rams. Texans have a completely new O-line, and I think that's going to take some working out, but they're in a weaker division to where they could easily just sweep the division, like, realistically. So I'm going to go the Rams. Devontae Adams, big-time game. I can just see him having, like, 90 yards and a tud. Puka's going to be healthy. Like, they're going into the year healthy. Not worried about the Matthew Stafford shit at all. He's just a dog. So I got the Rams week 1 with a win. They're another team that they've gotten killed. Like, they've had the toughest draw. Like, I think, wasn't it back-to-back years they played Detroit in Detroit opening
something
week
like that.
on like Sunday night?
Cincinnati one year or something. And the year that Cincinnati actually won their first game.
Yeah, because they went to Detroit last year for week 1 and almost won that game. So they get a little bit easier of a draw at home this year.
As I told you guys before we started recording, I'm very high on the Rams this year in the NFC. But when I think of the Rams and Sean McVay, I think of a team that it takes them kind of some games to get it going, and then once they get it going, they're really good, and they're one of the best teams in the NFL. But that's just what their roster has shown me. Like, their defense doesn't have, like, obviously they have Jared Verse, and like, their defense doesn't have a bunch of big names on it, but they get it done. I just don't. I went with the Texans because I think the Texans are really good. I think the Texans have a really good team. I know outside Nico Collins, the receiver depth is questionable. I think the Texans are a really good team, and I think they're going to win this game. I'm picking the Texans only, though, because I feel like the Rams and Sean McVay, they get some film, they work some things out, they fix their mistakes, and then they get going as a really, really good team. And I think the Texans are just going to come out. Like last year, we saw the Texans come out 4-2, and then they slowed down, still end up winning the division. Texans, to me, I'm going to go based off history of how these teams' like season scripts go. I think the Texans come out hot. CJ Stroud, big game. Rams will find it, but maybe the Rams start like 3-3, 3-4, 2-3. And people are like, not really thinking about them. And that's when they get you. That's when Sean McVay gets you. Once you kind of aren't talking about them, then they get going. So I got Texans week 1. Sorry for the long explanation, but I thought I was on to something.
I'm glad you brought that up because like they are that team that like in the last 7 weeks go like 7-8 and make the playoffs and get the last wild card bid. I think it was they lost they lost the week before, but then they played Minnesota on a Thursday night, and then they beat the Vikings, and then that's when they went game? That's when they went and won like 3 out of the last 4 or 5 games. Like that's when they make the run. So I agree. I like both these teams, but I'm gonna go with the Rams at home. Just they're at home. I think they finally figured the defense out. I think they have a lot less questions on offense. Like is Puka the one? What's Cooper Kupp? Is Cooper Kupp still the one? Now you're going into I think Devontae Adams at this point is better than Cooper Kupp. So now you have 2 legit weapons like Kyron Williams. Like it's gonna be a good game, but I think the Rams edge it out.
I also have the Rams. But I think it'll be a really good game. Sorry. Everything that you guys said. I think they'll just be a really good team. Texans, maybe a little bit of offensive woes, just because, like you said, that wide receiver 2 position we're still a little bit weary on. I think they got Christian Kirk, but I don't know how good he is at this point in his career. So I'm going to go Rams.
I feel like well-coached teams with good defenses. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you if you were
you're good. I'm
going. I was going to say what you're saying about the wide receiver 2 thing. It does concern me. I feel like well-coached teams with good defenses and like good quarterback play can kind of figure that out. Commanders even didn't have like an elite defense, but I just feel like there's ways like you don't need to have like, especially when you have a Nico Collins as your one, like you don't need to have this like elite wide receiver. Because if that was the case, like you would think Jamar and T. Higgins would just be so overwhelming for teams. I think if you're in a good like structure, it'll be fine. That's why I'm still kind of high on the Texans, but that's the only thing that does worry me.
They're missing Mixon
I'm not putting
too,
them as contenders because of that. Say that again.
Missing Mixon too, though. Who's in that running back?
That's right. Stroud will have to be asked to do a lot.
It'll be interesting.
Now getting into our 2 primetime games. Sunday night we have Ravens at Bills. I'm going Baltimore. This is just a game that the Ravens win every year. It's like they get the embarrassing loss in the playoffs, and then they just come out and just smoke somebody week 1. And I just am going to lean Baltimore in just a classic Sunday night football game, like between 2 top teams in the NFL. But I'm just going to go with the Ravens. I think they have the better roster going into the year right now. But like, here's the thing: the Bills are going to start out 0-1 and then end up being 5-1 by their bye or whatever. Yeah. Whoever loses this game by the media is going to get killed because this is MVP. Yes, like this is MVP on MVP, right? But I'm gonna go with Baltimore. I'm gonna go with Baltimore on the road. I think they just might need this one, mindset wise, a little bit more than Buffalo.
This game's a movie. I feel like really how you pick this game is, are you a Josh Allen guy or a Lamar guy? And whoever you're riding with, you believe in for this game. And I really think that's the truth. And I'm a Lamar guy. And I'm always going to be believing in them to win. Whenever I watch the Ravens play, I think they're going to win. I don't care. I don't care even if it's a playoff. I'm always going to think the Ravens are going to win. That team is special. They're going to start their journey to a Super Bowl on Sunday
I
night.
love it. I also have the Ravens. I actually see myself as more of a Josh Allen guy, but I love them both. I
Really?
love Lamar and Josh. But
I was wrong.
maybe,
I'm
I don't
on
know.
ESPN. I'm just
I like them
all I
both.
want to do is
He's
MVP
wrong.
debate.
I don't know. I like them both. I think the Ravens team. I think this team is just insane. I think they have the best roster in football, besides maybe the Eagles. Yeah, I think they just get it done in week 1.
I think the only edge, because I'm in between. I kind of like both. I'm still in the camp that it's just Mahomes until it's not. Until one of them proves to beat Mahomes, like in the AFC. But like, Josh Allen just has this like. He has like this like Cam Newton to where like Lamar is quick and shifty, but like Josh Allen has this like physical ability to just run you the fuck over, which is why I think gives Josh like more guys on Josh Allen's side because he is just that physical of
He
a
just
player.
goes at people.
Yeah, he just goes at people. But in this one I'm going the Ravens, and then we can transition into Monday night. Vikings at Bears. Cannot fucking believe this is a Monday night game. So sick. But this is the first time in a couple years.
Are you not excited?
This is just, it's so tough because in the past like 3 or 4 years, we've always gotten a pretty easy draw week 1 to kind of get the gears going. And now this is obviously a tough divisional game. It's crazy that the North is having both of their divisional games like week 1.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, in Chicago, I'm going us for sure, just because I think our defense is way more prepared, and our defense made it so fucking hard on the entire division. Like, we made Jordan Love come back down to earth when we played the Packers. I think Caleb is going to have a good game, but I think defensively, I think we're going to make the plays necessary. And it's a homer pick, but like, Thielen is just such a good ad just for the offense, especially without Jordan Addison. Like, especially without Jordan Addison, I was a little bit worried because I'm like, I haven't heard the greatest things about Jalen Naylor in camp. And Addison's going to be missing the first 3 games. They can just hone in on Jefferson. But Thielen's he's just a safety blanket. He actually had the most separation per route run last year in the entire fucking league. So he's older, but he knows the system, knows KOC. JJ McCarthy, interesting. A lot of eyes are going to be on JJ McCarthy because I think it's going to start being talked about. There's no quarterback in NFL history. I'll say this, no quarterback in NFL history has had a better situation. You have legit a top 1-2 receiver in their prime, probably a top 3 wide receiver room when fully healthy and fully good in the league, a good run game, a fully rebuilt O-line, an offensive-minded head coach, and an aggressive-minded defensive head coach. Like, and your defense is solid enough and good enough scheme-wise to make the plays, and you have a fully rebuilt D-line, like, what quarterback has come into a situation better, like, in the league? Like, it just doesn't happen like this. But I do think if KOC can get 13 wins out of Kirk Cousins and 14 fucking wins out of Sam Darnold, I think he can be manageable enough with JJ McCarthy.
He's switching on his guys. He's acting like Sam and Kirk weren't shit. It was all KOC now. That is crazy. You're saying it like they're bums. You're high on the Seahawks.
I am, but
it was nothing to do. It was nothing to do with the quarterback.
I think I have kind of a take about this because me and my dad, we'll talk for a whole hour after every game. I had a love-hate relationship with Kirk Cousins because the style that KOC wants to play, he needs a quarterback that's a little bit more willing to move around outside the pocket. And looking at like him going from Sam Darnold, who is more athletic and has a bigger arm that can throw downfield more, I feel like he was able to open the bag as a coach more. And I think JJ McCarthy is the perfect in-between piece that I think he's just a little bit smarter than a Sam Darnold and is a little bit more under control and calmer, but he has the athleticism more of a Kirk Cousins. So I think he's like this, like he reminds me a lot of Brock Purdy. He reminds me of somebody that's athletic enough to get out of the pocket and make the throws. I think he's very good over the middle of the field, which is something that Kirk Cousins is known for a little bit more compared to Sam Darnold. But I think he's just a little bit of a Brock Purdy mold to where, like, if you put good weapons and a good infrastructure around him, he wins. Like, he national champion, like, had a good infrastructure, good defense, good. I hate he has to be like this superhero. He doesn't. KOC has never looked at his quarterbacks and has needed them to do anything crazy. He's going to put the scheme and the talent around him, and he's going to be able to drive the car through JJ McCarthy. And I think a lot of eyes are going to be on him. It is going to be shaky. There are going to be growing pains. I don't expect us to win 14 fucking games like we did last year, but I do think that he's going to put him in a good position to win. I expect Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones to have big time games. Aaron Jones historically murders the Bears every single year, every time we play them. So I think Aaron Jones, we have a big run game and our defense gets stops down the stretch to win.
I like what you said. I think I've been very firm on how I feel about JJ McCarthy. I do agree with your Purdy comp. I think absolute ceiling. I think he could get to that. I'll be honest. I am very firm on the fact though that I need to see something from him first because I don't recall seeing this NFL quarterback when he was at Michigan. I don't care how good that team was. I never listen. Those you can get tape put together of all his best moments and everything. But as a viewer watching those games on Saturdays, I just never felt like that's what I was watching. So until I see that, I'm picking the Bears. I need to see that first. And I understand he didn't have a Justin Jefferson or when he was at Michigan. I understand that wasn't the scheme. Listen, I just need to see it. I've seen the film and I do like the film. I've seen all that stuff. It looks good. There's nothing he's like doing wrong. That's why I like the Purdy thing. Purdy doesn't have any like jumping off your TV type of talent, but Purdy also doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He doesn't do a lot of things wrong. He's pretty good at everything. You know,
if he can just play safe, complimentary football, he'll be fine. Because I think he can be, because he's bigger and more athletic than Purdy. So I think he can just be a bigger, more athletic Purdy in a way. But like we gotta stop like just easily comparing Brock Purdy like he hasn't been to Super Bowl. Like Brock Purdy isn't 100%. Good. Like $50 million well worth it. So I'm just saying in this type of play style, I think KFC is going to want him to play. It is Brock Purdy kind of in what they do with the Niners, where it's going to be a lot of play action and they're going to rely on the run.
Yeah, that's why I said Purdy could be like a good ceiling for him almost. Like I don't even think that's disrespectful. Like we're talking about franchise quarterback. But I just need to see it. That's all. I just haven't felt that when I watch him play yet. Good film, though. He actually has good things. He does.
I'm going with the Vikings. I'm honestly just like lower on the Bears, I think. I think there's going to be a little bit of dysfunction in that offense still. I don't believe in DeAndre Swift. I think that defense is still really good, but I think the Vikings defense is just as good, if not a little bit better. And then I think JJ McCarthy's going to be fine. I honestly don't really have a take about him. The only thing I'm worried about is the Achilles. Is that what it was? He tore? Is that what he did?
It was the MCO.
I'm just worried that he's okay. Like that he's fully healthy. I want to make sure he's good. If he can move around good, I think he's going to be fine throwing the ball. You have the weapons for it. You should be able to. If he can't, then it's a problem. I just think Chicago's more dysfunctional right now. I think it's a tough divisional game. And I got the Vikings.
I think there are a lot more questions about Chicago than there are about Minnesota right now. I think the only question about Minnesota right now is JJ. If you go to any outlet, they're talking about what can JJ McCarthy be year one. But when I'm looking at the Bears, it's like, what's the run game look like? Because people are in or out on Swift. Is Roma Dunze going to take this jump? Because I think he has the ceiling to be better than DJ Moore, way better than DJ Moore, in my opinion. Like
100%.
Like to me, if there's anybody that goes off in this game coming from somebody who's like had to play against Ben Johnson offenses, like it's going to be like somebody like Colston Loveland who has like 70 fucking yards and like a tut or something. Like, I don't know. And I just think Bears have a little bit more question marks. I think the Bears are just a next year team. Mm-hmm. I think they're quick because they got Ben Johnson in year one with Caleb. They're ready to slot this team down as a playoff team. They were talking about slotting this team as a playoff team last year. So I think they're still a year away. I think they need to get the RB room situated and figured out. I wouldn't be surprised if they went and traded for a big name this offseason to get Ben Johnson that RB that he needs. So like,
right.
I just think they're a next year team, and they're in a tough division. Like, it's also the Bears. Like, until I see the Bears be doing shit for real. Like, I'm not gonna believe the Bears. I'm not gonna go into a season thinking the Bears are gonna do anything, because this has been talks for years about how the Bears should be this and should be that and could be this and could be that.
Yeah.
Until I see it,
I'm not believing it.
and you're getting Ben
I agree
Johnson,
with that.
first year head coach, Monday night stage. Like, obviously he's done great things as an OC. Head coach is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Completely different ball game for
I
him.
agree
So
with
I'm
that.
interested to see.
They're always
'Cause there's a lot
relying on some shit. Like,
Yeah. If
Like,
they get the breaks,
they-
the
like,
Bears
they're
could be
always
good.
yeah, it's always something like, oh, we got Caleb now, best situation ever as a quarterback, and then now it's like the Ben Johnson thing, and it's like, oh my gosh, like he's gonna be so great. And I think these things can happen, but it's never a guarantee. And I feel like it's also like, I mean, because of where we're from, we're around Bears fans a lot, so we just hear a lot of it. But I just
Fair
don't
enough.
believe in it either. But it is easy for me to be in on DeAndre Swift having a good year though, actually, and the backfield not being as bad as it looks because of Ben Johnson. I think there's something that he does that, like his run schemes are just like they're unbelievable. So I
Good
will
point.
like give him the benefit of the doubt for now with that.
Good point.
We can kind of transition. This is obviously going to be apparently the first two starting the season are always a little bit longer because there's a lot more to talk about, a lot more to go on with every team compared to the normal episodes when we get later on to the season. But we do have some hot takes, last minute hot takes before we get into the season, because this will probably be the last episode you guys see going into the year. So looking at that, we do have some hot takes. I can start us off with one of them. There was a couple of them I wanted to say when we were talking. I has my first hot take. Michael Penix Jr. will lead the NFL in passing yards, and if not lead, he'll be top 3. When you look at so his line right now is set at 3,500.
I mean, that's a hot ass take.
When you look at
Michael Penix,
yeah,
okay,
I'm going to look at like when he started in the games he did play last year, back half of last year, he was throwing the ball a fuck ton. He was absolutely throwing the ball a fuck ton in those games. And I kind of think it's kind of in the same realm of like on a lower level of like how we talked about Dak and his weapons and how we talked about Joe Burrow and his weapons. He's somebody that can make any throw on the field. And with Bijan being such a good receiving threat as well, like sky's the limit. I think I like Darnell Mooney as a 2. Drake London, I think, is due for a big year. And that defense, they're going to be in a lot of shootout games, especially just in that division, to where like maybe he might not finish number 1 because you have Burrow and Dak that could have explosive years, but it's like I think he's bare minimum in top 5. It's going to be like Burrow, Dak, and like other elite level quarterbacks, and it's going to be like Michael Penix, who has a sneaky like damn near 4,500 yards and like a bunch of touchdowns. And like I know it's year 1 basically for him, a full year going in. He has the weapons, and I'm not crazy high on that defense to where like he could be in a lot of situations where he's throwing the ball 35 to 45 times a game, more than he probably should. I know they have Bijan, but like I said, Bijan's such a great receiving threat to where they're going to use him in multiple sets and everything, to where I think he could just have a monster year stat-wise. I'm not saying the Falcons are going to go light the league on fire and make the playoffs, but I could just see them being in a lot of shootout situations.
I like that. I had Dak. I mean, I wrote mine down as just Dak will lead the league in passing yards. Not even really much of a hot take.
My top 3 is going to be Burrow, Dak, or Penix to lead the league in passing yards.
No, Stafford. Stafford up there? In that top 5?
No, just because I think out of all the defenses, they might have the best defense.
I'm thinking T-Law.
They're going to be ahead in a lot of games. It's tough to like run up the numbers like that. Like when you're like probably favored in a lot of games, and if you're like Kyron there too. Like but yeah, Stafford's like a passing yard machine though. Like he'll be up there.
Like it's gonna, I could easily see the
Dak?
top. Yeah,
I put Dak up there as my number 1 in passing yards. Because I think our running back room is shit.
I guess I'll get mine as I'll say Burrow. I picked Burrow to be my MVP. I got him, so I think we're all in agreement like that. I'm not mad at Penix being in there. I like that take, Corey. I just did not expect you to say that. I did not think the hot takes would lead off with Michael Penix leading in passing. I like that. That's tough.
I also have one down here. I said Bijan will be the best running back in the league this year if we want to keep on the Falcons. I don't know. did we have somebody do like 1,000 or something like that, or 1,000? It was 1,500, like 750 or something like that. He's gonna have a crazy year. I think he's gonna have like maybe like 1,250 rushing yards, like 700 receiving yards. Is that crazy?
No.
2,000 all purpose. I think Bijan will be the best running back in the league. Honestly, like Saquon's probably the other one that people would pick, maybe Derrick Henry, but I think Saquon will have a little bit less of a workload this year just to kind of keep that Eagles offense kind of, balanced a little bit. I think Jalen Hurts will be passing the ball more as well. So yeah, I think Bijan will be the best running back in the league this year.
I like that. I'm a Gibbs guy between those two. I really am. I'm big on Gibbs. That's where I'm at with that. My hot take for this season. When you think of the best teams in the AFC, it's obviously the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bills, because the quarterbacks of those teams are always the ones in the mix, and whoever the Chiefs get to play or whoever the fourth is kind of up for question. And my hot take is about the team that I think will not only be in that fourth place, but have a similar or maybe a better record than the Chiefs, who I think is the third behind the Ravens and Bills. And this is the Miami Dolphins. I said I wanted to redo my predictions for the season. I am unbelievably high on the Dolphins. When I look at their defense, I think it's underrated. They're probably ranked middle of the pack for most people. I like a lot of names on their defense. They got a guy from my Raiders in Jack Jones who is not even listed as a starting corner for them right now. I think he's an absolute playmaker on defense, and he will find a way to impact that secondary. They made a move for Minkah Fitzpatrick. Improves your defense. Chop Robinson has shown us some things. Bradley Chubb. They got Jalen Phillips. Like, they got some guys who, Aston Davis, Rasul Douglas. Like, these guys haven't been perfect. They make mistakes. They're not like, I'm not saying this is like upper echelon level players. I think that could be an underrated unit that they can actually rely on later in the year when it's cold weather football. And I think Mike McDaniel is going to save his job for a while this year. I said it earlier. Tyreek Hill is getting slept on. Besides Connor, like, I love that he put him in the top 10 because we're talking about a guy, I know fantasy football isn't like NFL football, but a guy who people aren't even like considering in their first round of draft. Jalen Waddle is still an unbelievable wide receiver. Let's keep Tua healthy because when he is healthy, he's awesome. People like to, make jokes or whatever, like about his injury stuff because it's like, it really is like a dangerous thing for him. But even if he has to miss a couple games this year, I am so much more in on Zach Wilson running this Mike McDaniel offense than whoever the fuck it was last year. Like, I don't even remember who their backup was. Skylar Thompson. Like, what? That wasn't going to work. And Devin A. Chain's so explosive. I think everything's back in place this year. I'm not going to say anything like, I don't know what Darren Waller is going to be. Who knows? But I believe in the Dolphins. I think they're going to win a ton of games to start the year. They're going to come out really hot. It might slow down, but I believe in this team. I think they have a chance to be the third or fourth best team in the AFC. I don't care what my preseason predictions had them at wins by. I think it was like 10. I want to bump that to 11, 12. I think they're there. I think this is a really good team. Maybe they go to Buffalo and lose in some cold weather end of the year. I still will stand on it. This team is really exceptional. Like, even when they had Skylar Thompson, I was not giving up on him. I'm like, dude, when I watch the team, if Tua was just in there, it would be incredible. I'm high on the Dolphins.
I am going to piggyback off that. Maybe not talking about as much as the Dolphins as well, but I am in on a Tyreek Hill bounce back. I said that he'll bounce back and have somewhere around 16 to 1,800 yards this year. I just think he's too good in that scheme and system to like be bad. I just think he's just going to put up numbers. Like, he was hurt last year, and also the games that offense didn't have Tua, like, that just hindered that entire offense. And I think this team, I may not be as in on the Dolphins like that, but I will say I think they're playing with a little bit more desperation, knowing that, like, Mike McDaniel's job's probably on the line. Like, what does this mean for Tua? Like, after this year, if it doesn't get done or they don't show, like, some kind of life back half of the year. So, like, the only thing I'm in on for sure is I think the Tyreek Hill bounce back is coming, and I think it's going to happen somewhere upper 15 to 1,800 yards, somewhere in that ballpark. I think he can easily get to.
I just want to let you know that's insane.
That's high.
I just want to let you know that's absolutely insane.
It's Tyreek
What
Hill.
is?
It's
Jamar,
Tyreek Hill.
Jamar Chase
Dolphins are
led the league with
1,800.
1,700 last year.
I
Then it
think he
was
could be.
Justin
He could be
Jefferson
in
at
that realm.
1,500.
This
And
is
then all the way down to 1,200. Brian
This is
Thomas.
Tyreek Hill.
We're
Tyreek
talking about
Hill
Tyreek
can
Hill.
do
He's
this.
been
Hey,
around
I
there
have him in
before,
so
though.
many leagues. I have him in so many dynasty leagues. I would absolutely love this. You're insane.
I don't think it's that crazy. It's Tyreek Hill.
Aren't you the guy that says that they're the same offense every year and they're done now?
I'm just big on the. I also have Tyreek Hill in multiple leagues. I actually have Tyreek Hill.
Fucker.
I also have Tyreek Hill in the keeper. I have him in the keeper. I mean, if there's any time for a bounce back, I got stuck with him and CMC. Somebody got to have the bounce back. It got to be Tyreek Hill.
Oh my god.
But I think Tyreek.
Yeah.
I got Tyreek Hill in the third round of our keeper, and I just think also like not comparing fantasy to like real life, but I'm just like Tyreek Hill. Like if he just gets the quarterback play from Tua, he can be top end receiver in the league in yards. Like, and their defense isn't crazy to where they could be throwing the ball a lot more. Like, because a big thing, like everybody just got hurt last year as well. Like Tyreek missed time, Waddle missed a bunch of time, Achane missed time, Tua missed. Like for teams that get hurt, so we give. I will say this: I'm not high on the Dolphins, but talking myself into this take, the grace that we give the 49ers for having the season from hell with all the injuries and everything else like that, and we're just so confident in the bounce back that they're going to have and everything else with no fucking receivers basically right now. We got to look at the Dolphins in that same light and keep a spade and be like, yes, they also have all those injuries.
No, the Niners defense is on a different level than the Dolphins.
But I'm just saying they had the season from hell.
No, it is. No, it is. The last 5 years, yes, it is.
The Niners defense is not better than the Dolphins defense. This going into this year, I disagree with you.
Okay, maybe I'm talking about going from last year, the last few years, or you're talking the Dolphins is even close to the Niners.
The Dolphins made moves recently, and Dolphins defense wasn't like this terrible defense last year. And they made moves. Like I hear you. It's around the same level, but I don't agree this year.
It's not the same level.
And I think the Dolphins have better quarterback. They have better receivers.
Quarterback, they're like the same to me, honestly. I just get scared because Tua gets hurt.
The 49ers line is not good either. There's a reason they had a season of hell last year.
Because everybody got hurt on the team. Everybody on the team was hurt.
Same with the Dolphins. And same with the Dolphins. The Dolphins almost snuck in the playoffs.
But the Niners defense is better.
The whole season. With Skylar Thompson.
Niners defense is better.
With Skylar fucking Thompson, the Dolphins were in the hunt. Like,
the Niners defense is better.
Because Tyreek Hill is a diva. I don't care. We're high on Tyreek Hill. He's a diva. And everything that happens in Miami because of Tua's concussion stuff, Tyreek Hill being a diva on the roster in Miami, all these things amplify all their mistakes. And that's why I'm agreeing with what Corey's saying about how we let the 49ers off the hook. And they just paid Brock Purdy. No one minded that they paid Brock Purdy. I know he went to a Super Bowl. It's different in the NFC. I don't care what you say about that. Last year, the whole topic about paying all this shit was such a big deal.
They shouldn't have paid him.
It's almost disrespectful.
They shouldn't have paid either of them. I don't think either of them should have
gotten paid. He's a much better passer than Brock Purdy. He is.
Much better. He is accurate, maybe.
I just think that the way we talk about the Niners going into this year, because they had all these injuries, like the Dolphins also had a ton of fucking injuries. I'm not saying I lean the Niners defense more so because of Saleh getting back in that room than anything.
You make a good point about that.
I am also like looking at the Dolphins as like they're kind of in that same realm where they had the season from hell where like every major position group seemed to be on IR at some point in the year. To where I'm like, okay, like the same grace that I'm kind of giving the 49ers, I got to give a little bit to the Dolphins because it's kind of the same situations where like a lot of their shit last year was just so injury based, like compared to like what it could have actually been if they were healthy. So I'm looking at, in terms of the argument, I lean Niners defense because I'm really high on Saleh back there compared to if like anything going on with the Niners. But I'm looking at the receiver core of the Niners is like, I said it earlier, they're going to have Kittle and CMC. They should be fine. But like, what does Ayuk look like middle of the year off the injury? Like, is Pearsall going to take this jump? At some point, the receivers are going to have to perform. Jawan Jennings is going into the year hurt. So I'm looking at them like the receiver room is questionable.
They also have such an easier schedule.
Yes, the Niners have the easiest schedule in football.
Like, I
That's why I'm also high on
guarantee you
them.
the Niners will win more games than the Dolphins.
Yeah, easily.
Guaranteed.
I'd almost make a bet. I'd almost make a bet on
Guaranteed.
that with you.
Let's do it. Bid you right now.
I'd have to look at the schedules.
All right.
Easiest schedule in football.
Easy schedule in football.
Yeah, that scares me from it, but I mean, I'm not just bullshitting about the Dolphins, so I am into that bet, but
I can't wait.
don't
I
know.
can't wait
I'm
till.
not- and by the way, this is.
Go ahead.
I don't know, man. I'm not moved outside of Fred Warner with really, like, I just am not moved by much outside of Fred Warner on their defense.
You were talking about the
I feel
Tyreek
like that's what it's
outburst.
been. Even when they were a contender, like, we were never like, their defense was good, but it was never like, oh my gosh, they have somebody everywhere on their defense. Like I felt like their secondary was
Are we
always
just
strong when they
remembering
were
things
contenders.
completely differently?
Who did they lose this offseason? They lost Ward,
Hufanga,
Ufanga,
Ward,
Greenlaw.
Solomon Thomas, or he might have already been gone though.
So Ward, who's the
No,
top
we're
8
not
corner in
remembering
the league.
differently.
When they made the
Niners
Super
were
Bowl, they
so
had
dominant.
the best They had one of the
Bro.
best defenses in the league, brother.
But yes, they did. But their secondary was flawed, and that's
They
why
had
I never
Ward
took them
and-
serious in that game. I didn't believe
I
in their
see
secondary.
both.
I mean, all right, whatever.
When I'm
Let's
saying
move
this,
on,
I'm not
'cause-
saying like they were at the level they are now. They were a dominant team. When I questioned their defense from the past when they were a contender, I'm not comparing it. Like I'm not saying it was like a middle of the pack defense then. I just always felt like that was their weakness, and it's only gotten worse then because
No,
Dude,
no,
you
their
don't
weekend. No, no, no.
you don't
Their
have
weakness
rookie
was always their
quarterback.
quarterback. No, their weakness was always their quarterback.
Okay. That is if you think so? Okay, so
I
then
do.
Tua
I
is
do.
much
I mean,
better than-
Jimmy G, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy played all right in that Super Bowl, but he definitely made mistakes and was the reason they lost.
Oh, going all the way back to Jimmy G. No, their defenses were great back then. I'm talking about the last few years. I never
Yeah,
believed
Brock
in
Purdy
their
lost-
secondary.
Brock Purdy is the reason they lost the Super Bowl, but we can.
I
move
don't
on,
agree
'cause-
with that.
No,
I don't
like
agree
he
with
made
that.
the play. The
Brock Purdy
plays
played
he could have made the. Oh my god, I don't want to talk about the specifics. I don't remember them exactly. I don't want to be wrong, but
No, I feel you, I
he
feel
had
you,
a play to
I feel
win
you.
in the fourth quarter, and he just straight up didn't. He straight up didn't.
Yeah.
They also
You know who else
fucked up
wouldn't have
the
made?
overtime.
Dak Prescott.
What? Oh, I don't even. Hey, man, we can talk Cowboys all day. I ain't got no
I'm
feelings
just
about
playing.
the Cowboys.
I'm just playing.
I
I
have no
can-
feelings about the Cowboys.
I have one more. I have a couple more. Like we can kind of. One of them was
Oh, I got like 5 more.
getting into the hot takes. I can break this episode up as well, but I have said George Pickens will be the best number 2 in the league at the end of the year.
Love that. I like that.
I think
who
his
it is? T.
ceiling.
Higgins, Waddle,
Devontae Smith.
Devonta Smith, Cooper Kupp, Devontae, maybe.
I think he
I think it's
this
going to be
year
tough for
in this
JSN.
situation. I think he's the best.
Okay.
Going to be the best number 2 in the league at the end of the year.
I like it. I
Did
like
you
that.
almost
I think he's gonna
see-
have a really good year.
Do you feel any red flags? This is a fantasy question almost, but also just because he's one of the best receivers in the league. Like, I don't see this as taken away from CD. I think it's only going to open up what he does. But could
No,
you
I don't
almost see
think
a
so either.
world where Pickens has such a good year that like Dak is like throwing him the ball a lot, and it's like CD
think
maybe
he's just
does
gonna
have it
have to.
statistically
It
down.
could. I could definitely see him like being like maybe like not top 5, more like top 10-ish receiver because Pickens has such a good year. I don't think he could fall anywhere like out of that though. I think CD is like
I have a
top
take.
3 talent.
You're going from Jalen Tolbert to George Pickens at year 2.
Yeah.
Like
Like
Dak's
how much
gonna-
like it might even
that's a
take
huge
off pressure off of him. I don't know exactly. I'm excited to see how it goes though.
the Cowboys are legit a run game away from like competing for that division.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
weird because like no team's gonna stack the box. They're always gonna have 6
Yeah.
on coverage. Like it's gonna be tough. But
But this is
I don't
also
trust their
why
defense
we're
either,
also
though.
high on fucking Dak to lead the league in
Yeah,
passing.
yeah.
So like, there's a reason for it.
yeah,
Go ahead, Nick.
let me find one. Oh, I got one. The Commanders and the Broncos will both suffer from QB sophomore slumps, and their teams will be middle of the pack and fight for the playoffs.
I'm a piggyback because I have legit the same fucking take.
Okay.
Legit, I said the
Okay.
Commanders and Broncos will both miss the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, and I think like it's good. I think they're both good. 9-8, 8-9, like close, very close. I think I have the Commanders maybe making it, but I think it's going to be tough for both of them.
I'm too chalked.
You're the Broncos missing the playoffs.
I do.
Yeah.
I have the Broncos missing. Yes, because I have the Chargers making it.
Does that mean the Raiders get in? Does that mean the Raiders
No,
get in?
fuck no, fuck no, fuck no.
Don't say it like that. We're gonna be right on their tail all season.
You want to hear my
We're gonna
Raiders
be right
one?
on their tail.
You want to hear my Raiders one?
You don't have a Raiders hot take. No way you have a Raiders hot take.
The Raiders will get last in the division, and Gino will lose
That's
his job by the end of the year.
We're favored.
Gino will lose his job. Gino's going to lose his job by the end of the year.
He specifically made that for you, by the way.
Yeah.
That's how I got to write something.
We're getting last in the division. Oh, man.
Gino will lose his job. Is that hot?
That's hot.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Gino's he's top half of the league in quarter. Listen, I just wanted
fucking water, dude.
If we can win 7 games, I had a fun year. I would say for me, for what I'm used to.
Looking at your Dolphins take, if you have the Dolphins being that 4th team, so you would have Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Dolphins. Then you would have the Texans. That's 5. So then you're like
Bengals.
Chargers, Broncos, flip a coin. Then you have the Bengals in there.
Broncos, Bengals.
So it's like
it's between the Broncos, Bengals, and the Raiders.
The Raiders.
No, I really I'm firm on.
You guys are forgetting a team.
I'm firm on 2 AFC West teams. It's gonna be 2 AFC West teams and 2 AFC East teams.
Oh, you guys are forgetting a team.
Wait,
Trevor Lawrence.
Never mind. I can do.
Trevor Lawrence will finally hit his stride this year and get the Jags back to the playoffs.
Nah,
that's a hot take. Come on.
The AFC stacked. The AFC stacked. The AFC stacked.
Come on.
It is. It really is.
Go ahead, Cole.
I'm just gonna say, like, I don't care. I'm just bring it over with. I don't even need to react to it. I think my hot take though is the Raiders don't get last in the division. Like we will be better than either the Broncos or the Chargers record wise this year.
I like that.
I like that take more than them making the playoffs.
I'm being genuine. Like I was joking around earlier. I actually think it's a hot take. Like I think a lot of people are in on the Raiders being better than they were last year. Nobody's in on having them besides Nick Wright. I've seen him have a second in the division. Nobody's really in on us being above the Broncos or Chargers yet. So
I think it's it's tough. And that division's so fucking tough because like there's reasons to be lower on the Chargers and higher on the Broncos.
Oh,
but like I want to be higher on the Chargers than the Broncos just because of Herbert. So like I don't know, it's tough.
I got the Chargers, man. I like them.
I have
I think I like the Chargers too. I'm talking myself out of the Broncos every day. I think you also talked me out of the Broncos right there. I said it like it was crazy, and I was like, it's not even that crazy. It's Bo Nix. Hasn't moved me yet. I'm gonna be honest. Bo Nix has not earned being every year we predict him to go to the playoffs, guy. I don't care.
Portland Sutton, wide receiver 1.
Jaden Daniels has earned that.
I'm trusting Herbert and the Chargers more than Broncos, and that's just me. But I have a seeming one that I can't wait to see how it does, like on clips. You guys are gonna laugh at this one. I don't know where this thought came from. Hear me out. I can just see it now. The take is Daniel Jones will start the whole season, and we will go into the offseason, and he will get fucking extended by the Colts.
What? All right. Fuck it.
He is going to play the most mid-quarterback ball ever, but he is going to save the jobs of everybody in that building because they're going to win like 7 or 8 games.
Wow.
And they will fuck around and extend him.
I love Daniel Jones. Fuck it.
Not to like a crazy bag, but they will extend him, and then it'll be the laughing stock of the offseason. How Daniel Jones got paid again.
$25 million a year.
Yes, like how Daniel Jones got paid again.
Jim Irsay does not deserve that.
He did not deserve that.
Oh, he's going to be sick.
And I also said part of it, I said that somebody comes in and trades for Anthony Richardson. Either at deadline or off season. somebody comes in and trades for him because they're gonna.
I think someone has to.
It's gonna be like they're gonna pay Daniel Jones, like extend to a bag, not like a Daniel Jones bag, and then Anthony Richardson's gonna get traded right along. Because if Daniel Jones goes in there, because the Colts have decent weapons, decent defense, like they have a decent just overall team. If he goes in there and like plays like how Gardner Minshew played, maybe a little bit better, because I think Daniel Jones has more ability to just do more than Gardner Minshew. Like in a weak division, the Colts are gonna be like right fucking there, like if he can just play mid football, I think the Colts are just in a way better spot, because if the Colts were just playing mid football last year, they were still kind of in the midst of that division anyways. So I think if he's going to be like bottom half of the league, but he's going to play good enough to get them to like 7 or 8 wins in that division, and they're going to pay him to a bag, and it's going to hurt their franchise like it did the Giants for years.
I hate that take. Hate it. I hope that doesn't happen.
I think I'd be in on Daniel Jones, like, staying the starter there for them for the whole season, but I don't see an extension. I don't see a second.
They would have to do some crazy. They have to fuck around, make the playoffs for him to get extended.
Yeah,
but I can just see a world where the Colts are a mid-franchise. The Colts are a mid-franchise and a mid-organization to where, like, if they say won 8 games, they might not be in high quarterback ranks in the draft, to where they would just be like, fuck it, let's just run Daniel Jones back for like 2 years or whatever, and just see where it goes. And maybe they like use other money to like help out the roster, whatever. I can just see a world where the Colts do that. I also said Kirk Cousins will be a starting quarterback for a team this year at some point.
I like that.
Okay.
So some team.
I like that.
That's why I wish if Tua ever got hurt, I think a guy that could go in and kind of replicate that, what he does, is Kirk Cousins.
I mean, without moving at all.
I'm not mad at that. But
not really.
Some quarterback's going to get hurt like it does every year, and Kirk Cousins is like legit.
Oh, yeah, he's going to play somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
Is he just the guy that whoever has the franchise quarterback get hurt, they call for Kirk Cousins? Is that what he's about to be? So, yeah, probably not.
It would be a desperate team. It would be a team that's like legit, like high in the division record-wise and in contention, like, and somebody get like if the Dolphins were like 7-2 and Tua got hurt, like, it is a lot of money though. But I just think
$30 million. I will say, don't let Michael Penix play like shit.
Oh yeah, he will. He will be in the midst.
Don't let him do that.
He's not gonna. That was such a weird turn of events. That big ass contract, and then they just draft Penix, and then Kirk starts out bad, and then it's just done. Like the Falcons are unserious as shit for that.
If you guys have any more hot takes,
I can rapid fire a few more I got. Yeah. Number 1, the dysfunction of the last few years will follow the Bears into 2025 with a lot of rough patches for Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. Can you take anything?
Yeah.
Fair enough? Okay.
I like it.
I think it's gonna be tough, man. It's always things are always just looking good for the Bears until they're not.
That might not even be a hot take. That might just be like, if you're not a Bears fan, you might think that way.
I don't know. I'm thinking more like the stuff with like the bad shit, where it's like, man, is this guy like? Do we need to move on? Do we Tyson Bagent need to start some games?
Right. Okay.
I think the streets will love this one. Jalen Hurts will be deep in MVP talks this year, like top 2, top 3.
I agree. It's a good take.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good take.
George Kittle will be the best
in contention stat-wise every year.
Yeah, but I
agree with that one. That's a good hot take, though.
I don't think deep. Not deep.
Okay. George Kittle will be the best tight end in the league. I think that's how the Niners will kind of stay afloat a little bit. You don't think so?
Oh, yeah.
Bowers. I had Bowers probably the other.
Sorry, McBride, too.
McBride. Yep, McBride. Hey, Travis Kelce. You believe in the Kelce Swift engagement? There you go.
Talking about, because you brought up McBride, I said it could be who? I damn near don't even want to say this one.
Say it.
Come on.
I said Kyler Murray is in a do-or-die year.
Yeah.
To where if he can't get that team to at least the playoffs or close, or they lost the last game of the season or something like that, Cardinals have talks about moving on from him. I'm not saying it will happen, but talks will rumble in Arizona about Kyler being out of there.
It's tough. He makes so
100%.
much money, man.
He makes so much money, but at some point, that money and
gotta
that
do
price
it,
tag
yeah.
has to be done.
Ain't worth it, right?
And
I
I
get
think if you're looking at the highest paid, like that big ass group that's in like the 50 mil club for quarterbacks, it's like, are you taking Kyler T-Law, Kyler Jordan Love, Kyler Purdy? Like he's in that realm, but all the guys like haven't done shit. So it's like
Right.
at least Love and T-Law been playoffs, and like Purdy's been to a Super Bowl, and like Tua's been to the like. Not saying Kyler hasn't been to the playoffs because he has, but I'm just saying like it's been years. Like
Has he? Did he make it once?
yeah, early on, I'm pretty sure.
Ass. Lucky ass.
So it's like it's in that realm where it's like I think it's a do or die year for Kyler. Not saying he'll get traded
I
or
agree.
anything because he's making so much money, but I think the narratives and talks might rumble for him to possibly be on the move.
I agree with that. I got one more.
Like
I
that.
got one last hot take I'd like to say. Which honestly,
Mhm.
this doesn't seem like such a hot take because he was the number one pick. I feel like people love that this past year's quarterback class. I think after 1 year, Cam Ward will show I am better than all of those rookies last year besides Jaden Daniels. I think people will already be saying he is better than Bo Nix. He's better than Michael Penix. He is better than Caleb Williams. I already say him. He's better than Drake May. I think that Cam Ward is special. I think he's going to show that, and he is a special quarterback. That was a great number one pick. I think he's an awesome quarterback. I like everything about him as a prospect.
The only name that you said that I might like not fully agree with just because he was one of my hot takes. I just think Michael Penix is just gonna. Penix is going to be that guy. Like however long he plays in the NFL. Like I know it starts this year, full year, but he's just that guy that he's just gonna put up numbers. It might not result in the wins and shit, but he just seems like he's just gonna be a guy with weapons around him that's just gonna put fucking numbers up. Like
he throws a nice ball.
Like
yeah, I think Caleb. I think Caleb will be fine. I think Caleb's gonna have an okay year. Like I know I just said that there's gonna be dysfunction, but I think there will be like light as well. Like, I think he's gonna look all right. I also just don't know. I don't watch college football. Say that as much as everybody else does. So I don't know much about Cam Ward. I'm also just like I was with Bryce Young. I'm just worried about like that number one picks, and like these teams are just so bad when you pick number one. Like I know they made a lot of moves. They made their defense a lot better. I know they got Calvin Ridley. Obviously they still have Pollard, but like that team just ain't on the level as obviously like other teams.
They would need somebody on that offense in that receiver room outside of Calvin Ridley to like take a leap.
Yeah.
They would need a number two to like really step out and like produce for them.
Like I'm not saying you're wrong. I just like that team just scares. I hope they can support him enough to do that.
Yeah. They might be a next year. If you said this take next offseason and they made a little bit more moves like offense to improve the offense, then I'm hearing you, but I'm like it's really Calvin Ridley or bust for them right now.
It was a Titans head
No,
coach.
I just was looking at who they even got.
Tajay Spears out for the year, right?
Is Tyler Lockett and Van
weeks.
Jefferson as their guys? Yeah, there's no Tajay Spears. He's IR. They got
Brian
Tony
Callahan's
Pollard.
their head coach.
I don't love Callahan, but I just think I don't know, dude. Something about Cam Ward, like I just trust it. I really do. I really like it.
I mean, a lot of people are saying the same thing about Jane Daniels in the Commanders roster, so it could change.
Yeah, for sure.
There's
my
always
last
a surprise team. I can't figure out who it is. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
The surprise teams are, there's going to be one.
You never like one that no one predicted. There's always one. I feel like
the Jags,
and it's not like the Patriots. Like people say, like people always make a take about like a Patriots type team, and like they should be good. It's going to be one that is just like so outlandish. Like the Seahawks that 1 year when they got Geno. Like that's what made me start liking Geno.
Cardinals.
Like, you were saying one win.
I want it to be the Jags, but I can't believe it's the Jags till I see the Jags in the playoff graphic playing the Bengals in Cincinnati or something.
God.
That wouldn't even get me though. Like, anyway, keep going. Yeah.
My last hot take. Walk with me.
Oh God.
No.
The way people talk about Gibbs and Montgomery in Detroit, how they have this two-headed monster of running backs that feed off of each other. I think at the end of the year,
here we go.
Kenneth Walker
Oh,
and Zach Charbonnet will be in that same. They
no.
talk about him the
I
same
thought you were
way.
about to say Jordan Mason and fucking Aaron
No,
Jones.
I
no.
did too. I did
like, no
too.
fucking
I was
way he's
gonna
gonna say that
leave.
shit.
I was gonna
No.
hit leave.
You finally get Charbonnet. I mean, I like that because I think Charbonnet is just kind of like
You're disrespecting Gibbs. You're really
I think-
disrespecting Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'm not saying at the same level, but I think teams are transitioning to we need two running backs that kind of feed off of one another in the run game, and they're kind of everybody's getting that from Detroit the past couple years. But I think Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet really work well together, and I think they can enter like kind of that same, not level, but same conversation as like they're a real duo in that backfield.
I mean, they could. Like, here's the thing: that in the past, that coaching has just never had any interest in doing that. It's always been if Kenneth Walker's healthy, it's the Kenneth Walker show. If he's not healthy, it's the Charbonnet show.
But now it seems like they've reshuffled this roster, retooled the O-line. I think that they could be in a situation to where they want to use both of them, and that's kind of where this take kind of like the groundwork for this take kind of leads. Is like if they do use both of them, I think it's going to be really explosive because I really like Zach Charbonnet. Whenever Kenneth Walker got hurt last year, Charbonnet was fucking easy.
He's good for like 25 points in fantasy.
Right.
Easy.
What about
Maybe
Rashad
not
White and Bucky Irving though?
I'm thinking Bijan and Tyler Algier.
I don't think Tyler Algier gets run this year.
You don't think so?
I think it's
like
just
a Bijan show. I mean, I did just say
Bijan.
he's going to be the best running back in the league, so like I'm okay on either side. But if they feel like they want to throw Algier in there, I could see Algier having a better year than David Montgomery if they force that.
I wanted the Raiders. Our run game was so bad for the Raiders last year. I said to somebody at one point of the season, we need to trade for Algier from the Falcons. We need somebody.
That would have been fire.
Something. Like I think he's a
fire.
good bat. I'm not mad
I
at
picked. So I could have said Bucky Irving or Rashad White.
Yeah, I like that too.
But I also see a world where like it's kind of like the Falcons and the Bijan, like they could just lean so much into Bucky Irving.
Well, aren't they like very similar backs too?
Rashad White's better.
Is he like bigger
receiving?
Oh, really? Oh.
But Bucky's just a monster. But like I brought up Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet just because like I wanted to get a duo that could work together that nobody's talking about. I feel like Bucky and Rashad, I think people know what they're about.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think
I like that.
Kenneth Walker has the talent. He just gets hurt. But if they get a world where like they both are healthy and they're using both of them, because Charbonnet can do both and Kenneth Walker can just do everything.
I mean, a duo that did start playing like this at the end of the year is James Cook and Ray Davis. Ray Davis was just getting a bunch of play like at the end of the year, and James Cook was more like just a passing back and first two downs.
He was good too. He was good.
So if they feel like they want to do that more, since they just paid James Cook, they don't want to for 3 years. You do something like that.
Yeah.
They also have
I think the league's just more tending towards that. Like they just want to use more than one guy, unless it's someone like Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs, someone big that can just do the whole thing.
I didn't even think about Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason.
Jordan Mason. Here we go, dude.
I thought you were going
Javonte Williams.
there.
What do we think?
I really did.
Jaden Blue, Javonte Williams. Come on, man.
Who's a running back that I just love? There's just something about Chuba Hubbard. Had him in fantasy last year. Chuba Hubbard.
I had him in fantasy. I'm here. We're here.
Chuba Hubbard.
We're here.
Was so solid.
They got a little duo going there.
Year. Once Bryce Young got his confidence,
he was the top 10 back at that second half of last year. He was the top 10 back all year. Honestly. He was elite.
He was playing good.
Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones.
I fully believe that's where you're going.
No, I wasn't.
Fully believe that's where you're going.
Aaron Jones is good for 55 yards and a ton. He's just good for. He ain't getting you more than 65, but he ain't getting you less than 45.
He's not having a big game though. He's not having a big game.
Right.
But I do think Jordan Mason can come and hoop for us though. I do think he can come in. So, but that's all I have for hot takes. You guys want to wrap it up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
That is all we have for this episode of Barrel Talk Podcast. Weekly episodes will be out. This will be out Monday morning of the first week of the NFL season. Thank you guys for tuning into the Barrel Talk Podcast. Hope to see you tune in to future episodes.